Welcome back to the Sanders Kitchen. I'm Mike. Today we're going to be doing some eggplant lasagna. Eggplant lasagna is something Mom made ever since when we were kids. Love eggplant lasagna. I love pasta, so I'm going to add lasagna noodles to mine. You don't have to add it if you don't like, because I know a lot of people just use the eggplant. But I want a little bit more texture. I'm going to put the pasta in. One of my cousins, we call him Skip. Skip and his wife Connie, they live out in Mississippi, and they have like a little farm behind their house, and they grew a bunch of eggplants, so they gave us a couple, and I've held on to them a little bit. They're a little wrinkly, but they're still good, so I added a couple more because we're going to make a big pan of eggplant lasagna. So we'll also have some mozzarella cheese, some ricotta, some seasoning, some fresh basil, olive oil, and I want you to see what's in this skillet, so come on, let me show you. So what I have over here is about 3 quarts of my homemade meatballs and gravy, and of course my red gravy already has all of the seasonings in it, and the only thing that I needed to do was cut up the meatballs and a few little pieces of sausage, and then I'm going to just use this little tool to break them up a little bit, and then we're going to add that to the lasagna later. So that's pretty much where I want it right now. So now I'm going to clear the counter off, and we're going to take the eggplant and get it ready for the oven, because the first thing we're going to do is slice up the eggplant and we'll season it and put it in the oven. Well, it's time to trim up our eggplant, so I'm just going to cut the tip off. Get rid of that, and I'll cut the tail off just a little bit here. What I'm going to do is go ahead and slice it. I'm trying to make a decision on how I want to slice it. So the eggplant has a little bit of a curve like this, and if I slice it this way, then this piece is going to have a thick part, a thin part, and a thick part. So at least I know if I put the curve up, all of my parts will be equally as thick. So I just want to cut, I'm going to use a different knife, a serrated knife. And I'm just going to cut this about a 1/4 inch thick. Cut those slices about like that. And I don't think you want them too thin, because then they'll just fall apart. So we'll just cut all of these eggplants into nice thick slices like that. I know I'm using a silicone mat, but I do want to add a little spray just to help clean up and release. I just don't want anything sticking. So we'll put the eggplants down here. And I know I didn't cut them all up yet, but I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do. And I'll do this to all of them. I'll add a little bit of olive oil to each eggplant and spread the olive oil around. Oh, I love olive oil, so there's no shortage of olive oil in this family, I can tell you that. So just a little bit of olive oil on each, and then I'll take a little salt and a little pepper, and I'm even going a step further, and I'm going to add in just a little bit of an Italian blend, just a little bit, and I'll do that to all the rest of the eggplant. We're going to put them in a 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes. We're looking for these eggplants to get real soft and tender, and I might even flip them over about halfway through. So I'm not going to re-oil or re-season, but that's what we'll do. And when we're all done with this, they'll go in the oven, and then later we'll assemble the lasagna. It's going to be really cool. Now that the eggplant is in the oven, we're going to make a little mixture of the ricotta cheese. May not be saying it right, but this is 32 ounces, by the way, and the original version. So we already have that in the bowl, and what we're going to do is add in a little salt and pepper. Here's a little pepper, some salt. As my grandmother used to say, peppera. She was from Sicily. Saltella. And then we're going to add in some oregano, some onion, granulated garlic. We'll add in our egg for a little binder. And then we have a whole cup of fresh basil. Basil. And I just picked that out of the garden this morning. I could have used parsley. That's normally what's used, but I wanted to go with basil. I have a lot of it, and I love the flavor. So we're just going to mix this briskly until it's completely mixed. And this will be part of the assembly of the eggplant lasagna. As soon as the eggplant comes out of the oven, we're going to start the assembly. So we'll see you in a few. Man, the eggplant is out of the oven. It is beautiful. It's perfect. So it's time to start assembling the lasagna. Now, in this dish, there's something I want you to know. If you don't want to use pasta noodles, don't use them. You don't have to. You could just make this a vegetarian dish. Don't even need the meat sauce. Just use maybe a red, tomato sauce without the meat in it. But I'm going to tell you, when I made meatballs and I put the sausage in it, the Italian sausage, and if you've been watching our channel, you know we make our own Italian sausage. It's the best way to do it. This meat sauce is so good. It's amazing. So that's why I mushed up all the meatballs and the sausage to make my own sauce like that. So what we're going to do is start off by, we're going to go with sauce first. Then, according to my list here, I have to go by my list. Then the eggplant, and then the cheese, the two cheeses, and then we'll start over again. So here, let's go ahead and get this bad boy going. Now, it was a little bit thick after I mashed it up, so I put about maybe a cup of water in here. But I'm going to go ahead and spread out some sauce on the bottom. Now, this is a lasagna, like a restaurant-style lasagna pan for deep dish lasagna, okay? And I don't expect you guys to have that. And I don't have a restaurant, but I just liked having the deep dish style lasagna. When I make it, that's how I make it. So anyway, we'll put some eggplant in. This right here. Now we're going to go on top with the ricotta. And by the way, I got to tell you, using the basil along with the tablespoon of granulated onion, granulated garlic, salt, pepper, egg, oregano. Man, I'm telling you, you talk about good. Now, let's go on with some mozzarella. We'll spread that around a little bit. It's all going to melt. Okay. And now we're going on with our lasagna noodles. I'll put one in on the side there and one over here. And then one here. Perfect. They don't need to be like super tight. Okay, so you've got the gist of it, and now it's time to start over again, and we'll layer it until we finish off with everything, all our ingredients, and then we're going to top it with some Parmesan, and it's going to be really good. So let me go ahead and knock this out. Man, this is going to be so good. We're going to take this beautiful eggplant lasagna that we assembled, cover it with a little foil, and we're going to put it in the oven. It's going to be 400 degrees for about a half hour. Then we'll uncover it and we'll bake it for about another 15 minutes. Can't wait to show you what it's going to look like. So the lasagna is out of the oven and it looks beautiful. So all we have to do now is cut a nice piece and get it into my plate. Because it smells some good. Here we go. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is beautiful. I can't wait to dig in. Let me get a little piece of this. Ooh, it's nice and soft. It smells so good. Here we go. Look at the ricotta, the mozzarella hanging on there. You know, we had to wait a good 20 minutes after it came out of the oven for it to cool down a little bit so we can eat it. I gotta put that down. This is so yummy, so delicious. Unbelievable. So, you saw what happened. We sliced the eggplant, salt and peppered, put a little herb on it, a little olive oil, put it in the oven, 400 degrees for about 20, 25 minutes. At about the 20-minute mark, we flipped them over, left them in for about another 10 minutes. So it was a total of 30 minutes that we had roasted the eggplant. When they came out, we let them cool. We made our ricotta cheese, mixture, and the meat sauce was already made, so it was just a matter of assembling everything, and we didn't even have to boil the noodles. And they are soft and tender too. So later, we just layered everything together, and we baked it in the 400-degree oven for, I think it was 30 minutes. It was covered. And then we took the aluminum foil off, and we let it go for another 15 minutes, but it wasn't enough. Then I added another 15 minutes. But I turned the whole thing around in the oven just so that the heat would be a little more even. And so you could see that the cheese started to brown slightly. It was bubbling on the edges, so we took it out. It was perfectly done. And we just let it cool for about 20 minutes, or else we wouldn't have been able to eat it. So it's delicious, it's fabulous. I mean, the flavors are all there. So I hope you give this recipe a try. You know, as usual, everything will be in the description. God, I hope you guys come back, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. We like seeing thumbs up on our videos. Anyway, if you're new to our channel, thank you so much. We really appreciate you viewing. And if you are coming back to our channel, thank you so much. Leave us a comment, especially if you try it. I want to know how it comes out for you. Have a great week. Come on, go make you some eggplant lasagna. Let me know how it comes out. And God bless you.